Yeah, hey Grady, just checking in on preparations for Seattle. What do y'all see and how things going? Y'all get ready for the Seahawks team. Started 3-0 and dropped 3 games.
Yeah, man. They're a very talented team. A lot of shifts and motions, a lot of skill at every level, and we got to be ready to be prepared for them. They have been on a tough string of games, but all we can do is focus on where we at, what we're trying to accomplish, and trying to get the next dub. So we're doing what we got to do.
I know you got to deal with up front, but what do you see? We see the Metcalf kid. He's turned into a pretty good player.
Yeah, man, he's been a good player. He's been a good player since he's been in the league. A big, strong receiver, fast, and somebody definitely want to try to get the ball to. And I'm sure one of the leaders on their team, so somebody we definitely got to take into account for, prepare for, and know it's going to be an all-day battle.
Great, I know I asked you last week about it, but where do you think the final inch or step is to just bringing down the quarterback?
It's really just really trusting our training, trusting the process. I feel like we can't go out there and try to force it, and guys playing out of whack. We got to continue to play together, and I truly believe in the things that we're doing, and I think it's going to work. And it's just time for it to happen. And so it's another heightened sense of urgency, but at the same time, it's not a panic button to where you just throw all your training out the window, just try to make something happen. You got to keep pressing, and know that it's going to come through.
Do you get frustrated though, or is it almost like so much pent up energy? Like you guys can get the quarterback down.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to.
Yeah, as a competitor and somebody who definitely you want to do the best you can, you get frustrated. Everybody who wants to get production on the quarterback, people may want more picks, whatever it may be. You can get frustrated just as a competitor, but you can't let that frustration become something to be discouraging, and so you got to turn whatever frustration you got and put it back into your craft, into your grind, so you can get the results you want.
Is your mom been okay with all that Rockdale stuff with the stuff?
Yeah, she been our house been fortunately good. They smell the stuff sometimes, but some of the closer to the town where the burning stuff happened, has been they had like shelter in places and stuff like that. And I think Rockdale football team had to miss a couple of games, based off. So I feel bad for them boys having to go through that. It's unfortunate. But yeah, so just something the county going through, and hopefully get that thing figured out. And just unfortunate situation.
Grady, how have you seen Drake London mature over the last few years?
Man, just becoming a man, and I just say that being more mature, what I'm saying, staying patient, continue to work on his craft even when things wasn't going his way, and just being able to answer the call now, and being put in position to make big plays, and he making them. And I'm excited for him, and I just love to see his growth. I love to see his confidence, and I know that the best is yet to come for him. And, with all that being said, nobody got higher expectations for him than himself and what he wants to accomplish. And he got every tool it takes to be a number one receiver, do the things he got to do, and I think he got a great future.
Would you impress with him as a blocker, like when you watch him block guys?
He's gritty, man. He's gritty, So they definitely don't have any qualms about putting him in the mix, and that's what you want from a receiver. You want somebody who want to be out there every down, and that's what he is, every down receiver. And he can stretch the field, he can do the short routes, he can do long routes, he can block somebody. So he wants to do it, and that's just a part of his character.
Grady, aside from obviously wanting to get better at the pass rush, what else are you guys putting emphasis on the defense right now?
Really just trying to continue to limit big plays. You never want long runs to break out on you or deep long passes. So we always trying to keep the cap on that. But I think the next level is for us to get to the passer and get him on the ground, and and that's just the reality of where we are right now, and things we need to accomplish, and I'm sure we're going to, but and being a little more cleaner in some of our run fits, I think we could be better at. But definitely, because the effort is there, the want to is there, guys know what to do, So it's not a question of talent, effort, or nothing like that. We just got a really execution. It ain't really went on in our favor, but I feel like it's going to.
You guys have been really good at limiting explosives so far this year. What's been behind that, you think?
I think that goes back to preparation and also just executing when the time was called. Because a lot of time these teams do shifts and motions, try to get you out your rules and get people out the gaps, and it can hit a long run or long pass. So being disciplined in our rules for most of the part limits that.
Can I ask you something a little bit unconventional? The way that the Falcons offense is running some of their plays right now, specifically in the run game, what makes that particularly difficult to defend?
Just because you really don't know where they're trying to attack all the time, and I think it makes it very difficult for players on the field and coordinators to scheme against. Because if you got, say you have to run 11 personnel, but you can do, wide zone, mid zone, you can go to the tight end, away from the tight end. You just can't get a beat to keep them honest. And also, when you got guys receiving the ball like we do, got Kurt that can get the ball wherever on the field, it keeps the box lighter, So it makes it better for them to run the ball. So it all works hand in hand. So I think it's they're doing a great job of putting some stuff together. And those guys they've been grinding out for a long time. Been one of the top lines in the league for last couple of years. So they put a lot on them boys up front, but they can handle it. They ready to rumble with anybody, and it just makes us better on the defensive side, especially going through training camp, training against them. But they're gritty for sure.
Is it at the point, or when is the point when maybe the players need to get together and hold their own meeting? Like the coach is out and just like, let's chat about what we need to do.
As far as
like getting after the quarterback more, being more like as a unit, more aggressive, or do you think it's at that point, or have you had that point already?
We spend time together as players. Really, when things are good, and I wouldn't even say things are going bad. I don't think there's time to hit no panic button or nothing like that, because we all on one accord. As far as players and coaches, there's not a gripe in between what's happening, and we all, they want it just as bad for us. We want it for them. We do good, they have more success, but we do good. You know what I'm saying? They go hand in hand. So we're trying to figure this thing out together. I don't think it's at a point to where we need to get the coaches out of it, because that we talk to each other with our coaches all the time. Like, just had their own meetings. Like, that wouldn't be like a fix-it thing. It was something we already do, to spend time together and talk about some things that we can work on and be better at. And there's an open form of communication a lot of times. So I don't think that's like that sounds more like a panic button type thing. And we playing some good football, and we all figuring out how we gonna get to the quarterback.
As you're preparing for a quarterback like Geno, and you're watching, what he's put on film, why do you think this year is allowing him to have the year that he's having?
Just the experience that he has, the talent that he has, leading the league in passing, and the receivers that he got. He got 3 really good ones, and running backs that can catch the ball. Look like they put a lot on him. He's has deserved that role that they put him in to be their captain, do what they got to do. So, he's playing in an earned position. He's highly talented and highly experienced. So, his success doesn't come as a surprise at all.
Yeah, Coach, just, Seattle's defense, they got some big guys up front, but, what are some of the identities that they've presented here through 6 games?
Yeah, it's a really talented defense across the board, and got a great scheme. We played Baltimore last year with Coach McDonald, and they present a lot of challenges for an offense, and they do a great job mixing it. So from a schematic standpoint, we definitely have our hands full. And then you mentioned some of the guys up front, and they got players all over the place. Obviously the nickel and but the safeties, the corners, at every level they got good players. So got our hands full. We have a great week of prep and be ready to attack this thing on Sunday.
We were talking to Raheem earlier about Drake, and he said that he's the focal point of so much of the offense in the running game as well as the passing game, that you almost have to look for ways to get him rest. What do you like about having a guy like that who can be versatile and do the blocking and also be one of the best receivers in the league? Yeah, no,
it provides, you said the word versatility for the offense, and obviously there was some similarities when you got here between some players we had in LA with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and the versatility they had in the run game. And so you're looking at Drake, and he's basically a combo between both of those guys. Obviously, as a receiver, can do everything, but the more that those guys can be involved in the run game to where we're able to get into run type of sets and then throw it, or get into pass type of sets and run it. We'll always try to be as versatile as we can, and he is certainly a chess piece that you can move around everywhere, and he can do everything. So having somebody like him for the offense. We've talked about he's, borderline a tight end at some points, with the blocking, and then he can split out wide. He's in the slot. So definitely trying to move him around as much as we can and keep his versatility to our advantage.
When you say a combo of those guys, what do you mean? Like the versatility, the Puka?
Yeah, I think, from a route savvy standpoint, Cooper Kupp and I think, Drake, you don't like comparing guys too much because they're such different players, but there is some similarities there, and then just an overall toughness standpoint that, obviously with Puka and some of the blocking. So very similar players. All those guys had really great aggressive hands, which Drake has. But the route savvy is something that sticks out for Drake, and being able to set up routes that he's done a great job.
How much have you seen Drake's run blocking improve to this point?
I think it's been good. He's always had like the toughness and he's the want to, and that's dating back to the last couple of years when you get here and you watch it on film. But understanding the angles and the leverages that we're trying to attack, so all those things, he's just gotten a lot more comfortable with the different insert blocks on the backside that we do, and so he's done a great job. Again, just a great feel for the game. The more reps he gets, the more comfortable he's been.
You mentioned his route running a little bit. The creativity that he presents in those scenarios, how much fun is that for you as an offensive coordinator?
No, it's great. You give him those decision type of routes that he can certainly make the right decision based on the coverage, and as long as the quarterback and him are on the same page, then it provides a lot of freedom to call those kind of plays, knowing that there's completions out there, and then Kirk does such a great job that if that's not there, he's able to click back to the other guys. So it's a cool thing that he has going with Kirk right now, and just look to improve on all those good things they've got going.
And then how much value does Charlie Woerner and the role that he presents give you on offense?
No, it's huge. He provides a different element to the offense. Obviously, we've been more 11 heavy as of late, and him being able to get in there and run block, he can pass protect, he can get out on routes. We're trying to always keep that balance to where our tendencies aren't leaning one way, which has been good through the first handful of games. So he hit the toughness that he brings. Guy just loves playing football, and that's what's cool about it. You see him on the sideline getting fired up with everybody, and everybody has a little bit different edge when Charlie's out there, especially in some of the run game stuff.
You mentioned going away from it. You mentioned getting back to 11 personnel. It looked like you tried a lot of 12 in week 1 and then have gone away from it. Did you not like something you saw in that, or did you just feel like you wanted to kind of get back to your roots?
Yeah, there was, a lot of things going into that first game, that led us that direction. What we were seeing on tape from the Steelers, some of the matchups on the edge are tough. Both of those edge players are really good players. We had a great feel for our 12 personnel throughout camp, and then as we got going the next week against Philly, we were like, hey, this looks like a great 11 game. And so then that started clicking, and then we kind of have just been, rolling with that group since then. So not saying that we won't get back to 12 even this week with some things. And so, we'll always just look at the opponent. What are they presenting from a schematic standpoint, from a player standpoint, and the matchups obviously is what's important. But it's been fun to, like you said, kind of get back to the roots of the 11 personnel is what I've been accustomed to. But the 12 personnel and 13 personnel is still available.
Is there some element of, in terms of sticking with the 11 personnel, that you're sticking with the hot hand like you would a player? This is rolling right now. Let's don't change for change.
I think it's a great way to put it. Yeah, 100%. I think that's, starting with that Philly game, we had a great mix of run and play action, and the drop back game was good. So once that kind of was rolling, and then we looked at the next opponent, we said, hey, I think this is another good week for 11. And those guys have got a great feel. It's hard to take Ray McLeod off the field. He's a really good football player, and he's had great production from a pass game standpoint and in the run game. He's tough as heck. So it's you want your best 11 out there. Charlie kind of is a 12 personnel player. He's a really good player too. So we feel good about both those groupings. But like you said, just kind of rolling with the hot hand.
Drake gave an interview yesterday talking about the biggest difference from last year to this year for him is he was playing a lot of the X last year. He's playing more of the Z this year. And he presents like a traditional X. That's like kind of the X receiver is that big, his little guy can do everything. What made you look at him and think that he would actually fit really well in that Z role?
Yeah, I think, the more that, the Z receiver and the F receiver are really pretty interchangeable. Really, all of our guys move a lot, but when you look at the Z receiver, they're typically playing off the ball. They're able to motion a little bit more. They're able to get access. There's just a little bit more versatility that Z receiver has. And again, not to keep going back to the Rams, but it was, Robert Woods had great versatility. Puka Nacua was the Z there. So you could kind of see the similarities between those players, which was an easy, clear vision for Drake there. And we've been able to mix him in to play the slot, which he looks like he's playing the F at some point. So his versatility is awesome, but I think all those things kind of combined into having a very clear role once we got here to move him to that spot.
Speaking of hot, what was it like during this drive after the interception where 18, 13, 3, 14, and they knew y'all were running and it was working for you?
It's a lot of fun calling plays when that's happening, I promise you. So it was cool to see, obviously, with Tyler, that run, like the physicality, and then just seeing the offensive line. And even though I'm up in the booth, you can feel the energy on the field. And so once that starts rolling and we're efficient running the football, you love those moments where we can lean on the offensive line, especially late in games. With a back like Tyler. So it's a lot of fun when the run game's going. It makes it certainly a lot easier to call plays and not be in drop back pass situations. So really cool to see those guys come together. You knew they were going to play well. Leading up, they had a great week of prep, and it was just it was cool to see the run game get going, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Bijan was saying that he feels like this year he has more of a clear role on what he's going to do. Kind of last year he said they were using him a lot at receiver, and he feels like it's more of a downhill back. Was there something that you felt like coming in, looking at his tape from last year, that you felt like you could use him more or differently? Or?
Yeah, I think, even dating back to when he was at Texas, it was just like, man, this guy's just a really good running back. We know he has great receiving skills, but it was more like, hey, let's let his receiving skills just come naturally and not try to force anything. We've got so many other guys that can be split out wide and can run these routes within the offense. So Bijan gets those touches kind of within the flow, whether it's a check down or a screen, and making sure that we're balanced with those. But he is, a true running back. He's a great downhill runner, just like you're saying, with his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. Wouldn't want anybody else in the league. So he's done a great job. He's continued to get better. He's still a young player. Everybody forgets, he's still in his second year. He just continues to improve, and looking forward to, the next steps that he's going to take.
After the Panthers game, Bijan called it a 1-2 punch when him and Tyler get going. For you, how fun is it to watch when they're doing so well there on the ground?
No, it's awesome. Those guys, they love each other. Coach Petrie does a great job with all those guys. The culture in that room is really cool between all the backs in there. And so, seeing how excited they get for each other is what makes football fun and what makes this team a lot of fun to be a part of. So, you love both of those guys. They feed off each other's energy. They're great communicators throughout the game with one another. Hey, I'm seeing this. Here's what I'm seeing on this. And so it's really cool, their relationship, and just can't wait to see these guys continue to grow as that 1-2 punch.
At what point in the offseason did you know that Drake could fill that Puka role? Or
It was, we were probably the first day we got the job, honestly. Raheem and I were talking, and it was like, boom, I know he's been the X, he's the Z. And it was pretty clear after watching 10 snaps of him. And then had an idea of him coming out from college, and then had kept up with him, throughout his first couple years. But to answer your question, it was very early on.
He said that he had met with Raheem when he was in LA because he was still there. Did you do that as well?
So I missed him by a couple days there. I was already out here in Atlanta. We spoke on the phone, talked to a bunch of those guys before, right after we got the job. And so I was able to speak to him on the phone. He was, where he grew up was about 5 minutes from where we were living in LA. So, didn't get a chance to meet up with him in person, but we definitely cut up on the phone.
How much college football do you watch during the season? Because Raheem was like, I watch so much in the offseason, I barely watch except for a couple of big games. Do you watch a lot now? Or
I watch quite a bit. Like there's, the Saturday home games are a good chance. You get home, you hang out with your family, you toss on some of the games, and you're, just studying the call sheet, and you got games going on. So to answer your question, I've always been a huge college football fan. I grew up, my mom went to Oklahoma State, my dad went to Oklahoma. The Big 12 was just in our blood, and so I still watch a ton of college football, and definitely excited once you get to the hotel and there's a good game on at night. That's always fun.
This may be really simple, but how much do you actually value Kirk's ability to give you feedback? He was talking about at Carolina at halftime. He said, "What do you like here?" And he said, "I like running the football." So how much do you value that?
Yeah, it's great. You know, he's the one that's down there. He's the one that's feeling the flow of the game. We certainly felt good about the run game in the first half, and then knew second half it was going to be a big part too. And hearing his feedback was just all the more reason to where we felt like we could still continue to get the run game going. And so he's got great perspective, played so much football, and you're always going to take what your players are saying, whether it's Drake London on a route at halftime saying, "Hey, I think we can get to this," as long as it fits within the framework of what we're looking for. It's a player's game, and we're here to help these guys as much as they can, and that's what it's all about. But the more that those guys speak up and are not afraid to voice their opinion, the better off it's going to be for everybody.
Bit of an abstract question, but I'm curious how Raheem is able to offer his insights to you as a guy who's been around so many talented teams and coaches along the way, and while giving you the autonomy to kind of do the things that you want to do.
He has got, I mean, Ra, you guys see him every day. He's one of the most special people you'll be around just in life, but he's got such a good way about him to where he can give me feedback on things, but then be like, "Hey, I don't want to get in your way, but I think this." He goes, "Do whatever you want with it." But he's got a great way about him, and I'm, of course, soaking everything up, and that's dating back to when we were in LA together and talking about defense and offense. And right away you knew he saw the game on both sides of the ball, just like he was an offensive coordinator or a defense coordinator. So always value his opinion. He's got a great balance to it. He's definitely let me just go, which has been cool. But then, we're collaborating all the time. "Hey, I think on this, maybe we should do this," and certainly always taking any of the feedback that he has.
What's an opening game script stuff?
So end up kind of having like a priority call list that the plays not to lose sight of. To say that those go like in order, I mean, I would say that throughout all these games so far, you have like your first play, your second play, your third play. I would say by the second play, you're kind of just feeling the flow of the game and you're going from there. And then you're looking back at that sheet saying, "Oh yeah, we want to get to this." But it's been so much, and I didn't really know what to expect going into it being the first time. But as we've started going, it's a lot more feel and flow than scripting plays out, I guess.
What's the most random thing you've heard in the background of a Kirk voice memo?
That is a good question. I think he's always driving or something, like, so it's like I haven't heard the kids in the background, or I mean, I know he's got a lot going on at the house with those with his two sons, but
You might
no.
come off and you get the random get out of my way, move out of this left lane.
And not that I can remember. It's been pretty he's very serious when he's doing them. Like, can we joke around just a little bit? But no, he continues to send those. We have great feedback after games with those, but nothing that kind of hits off the top of the head.
Are they very well formulated thoughts? Like he has a bullet list that he needs to get across to you in this voice memo, or is it, "Oh wait, never mind, I was thinking about this"? Is it kind of?
No, it's definitely, you can tell he's got his notepad that he writes all of his notes, and he writes the plays as small as he possibly can in there, and then I can tell he's reading down all of his thoughts, and it really goes kind of in game order with a lot of his thoughts. So it's very easy to follow. As you guys know, Kirk is as process guy as it comes, which what makes him a great player.
Have you had a player do that before? Send you a voice memo?
No.
No?
Have not. No, I think this is the first time I've ever really got voice memos in general. I didn't even know what it was. Like the first time I clicked on it, I'm like, it's like a voicemail, I guess, that is just extended.
Does it expire, or does it save?
I think it saves because you can go back, and not saying that I go back and listen to it, but they are there. Yeah.
You know how to return one?
No, I have no idea. I've never sent one ever.
You just call, or do you text back?
I usually text them back and say, "Hey, I'll talk to you in the morning." So.
What's the latest you've received a voice memo?
Not very late. Okay. Typically like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I think he's in bed by 8:15.
But yeah, Coach, where is that relationship at? You all didn't know each other, and then you got to have a close football marriage. It looks like it's off to a good start here.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We're constantly learning about each other, and get to know people throughout the off season and throughout training camp. And then once you get really into it, you figure out more about people just with the, the high stress that comes every single week, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in prep. And then obviously Sundays and the things that come after a win or a loss, and handling those things, handling adversity. You learn a lot about people, but we've got a great relationship. His wife and my wife are great friends, live in the same neighborhood. Their kids run around with my two little ones. We saw them a bunch, whether it was this summer or in the spring, hanging out at the pool. So all those things just kind of naturally happen. They're such great people, and been a lot of fun to get to know them. But Kirk's doing a great job for us, and just going to continue to learn more about each other as we get the season going.
Coach, you put this offensive plan together for this team at the beginning, and obviously the offense has been trending in a great direction and getting better and better week after week. Coach Morris expressed pleasure about that fact. My question for you is, where the offense is right now, is that where you envisioned it? Are they performing? Is it happening the way that you put it together? Is there more that we can expect to see, or is it just about improving on execution?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is improving on the execution. It's always going to be an execution game. The plays are the plays, of course. We're trying to scheme everything we can to give an advantage to the guys out there. But the execution is always going to be at the forefront of everything that we do out there. It has been a good progress. You look at even the last two games, and we're like, man, we're still missing out on a lot of opportunities. And that's been the message the past couple weeks, is like, hey, that was great, but what if we eliminate this mistake, eliminate this MA? What if I call a better play at a better time? All those things go into it. And so it's been, good, steady progress. But, man, there are so many plays. Like, I think I came in on Monday more ticked off than I probably should have been. But you just see the little plays out there that you're like, man, we can be a lot better. And that's going to continue to be the message. It's never going to be a perfect game, but always striving to achieve that.
Hey, Jesse, how's everything going as you all prepare for Seattle, which features the #1 passing offense in the National Football League?
Yeah, the introduction, today has been a little different than normal weeks. Getting used to all these shifts and motions, and starting to talk about how they're having success on offense, and they do a lot of hurry up, getting up on the ball, check with me at the line type of offense. So as a defense, it's just another week. Like I always say, it's this team's going to present its own problems, and we just got to make sure we're prepared and be ready to go.
Is Penix helpful? This is his offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't talked to Mike as much, but yeah, there's definitely some similarities when Mike was there, and his philosophy and what he was thinking. Mike's my locker mate, so I'm gonna be able to chop it up with him a little bit about what they did and what's some of his favorite things that he likes to do.
And is it that they run it through Metcalf or Jigba or Lock? Yeah. They're trying to run that.
Yeah, I feel like they do a good job of getting the ball to everybody. But obviously, a lot of the deeper throws, more of the explosive plays come from DK. And then number 9, he went to Wake Forest for I think a year, and then went to Michigan State. So I've always been a fan of his. He's probably one of the best backs that will play all year. And Kenneth Walker, yeah. So, they got some weapons, and it's going to be an exciting week to go out there and put it on the line again.
Hey, Jesse, you guys are playing well right now, 3-game winning streak. Does that mean necessarily that you guys are gelling and clicking on all cylinders on all sides of the ball, or is there always room for improvement no matter? Yeah,
there's always room for improvement. I think everybody that's in the locker room, we won. It wasn't a close game, but there's always something that you can learn from, whether that's at the end of the game with Clark making a great play and then going down at the 5-yard line. That's showing that our growth as a football team, executing our calls, and also, just being situationally smart, to make those type of plays. So, yeah, there's always room for improvement. And like I said, just excited to go out there and continue to get better as a team.
What do you think is the next step for this defense?
Yeah, I think there's a couple times where we can really dominate. I think before the half, they went down there. I think we were probably up 12, I think. And then our offense is supposed to get the ball back at halftime. Instead, we go in at up 5. You know, it's just certain stuff like that situationally we got to be better at if we want to be a great team. And that's all right. This is only week 6, and you learn from these things by experience and also by other people, you know, throughout the league. You can kind of compare certain situations and get better at. But like you said, there's always room for improvement. Every week there's going to be room for improvement, and we're starting to get our turnovers. We can get a little bit more sacks, and then everything's going to come together as long as we continue to persistently go out there and work week in and week out. So excited.
You talked about the sacks there, trying to get those. Grady said he's not ready to hit the panic button yet. Just stay with the process. Do you agree with that? And how do you see it moving forward?
Yeah, I don't think there's any type of panic in that room. Obviously, there's some challenges, you know, that, you know, people are like, hey, we need to get more sacks. Obviously, you know, Grady deserves to get more sacks. You know, all those guys up front deserves to get more sacks, but that'll come as we continue to pass and the rush and the coverage working together. Where I know our guys will get at home. I think we came up short. I think we had Andy bottled up, and then next thing you know, he scrambles 30 yards. But you know, those are plays that you got to learn from for sure.
From your vantage point on the field, are there things that you're seeing that you relate to them, or is that like, I'm just going to leave it up to their room to kind of like sort things out?
Yeah, we're the coverage part of it. I'm not going to tell Judon how to cross rip and go get the quarterback. Those guys, they've been doing it for a long time, and they've done it before. It's just, like you said, it's just the time, and I know it'll come. And when it does come, I feel like the floodgates are going to open. Maybe I'll go get my first sack and all that good stuff. So we'll be fine. I know we will.
In studying Geno Smith, have you noticed kind of a greater emphasis on his passing or rushing this season?
Yeah, Geno is somebody I'm a fan of, honestly. He's somebody that's been written off in this league before, and being able to come back with a strong comeback of showing that he can play in this league and have a winning team as well. Geno does a really good job of playing on time at times, and then he can also play off schedule where he can, you know, create some more time with his feet. Yeah, like you said, there's been times where he's running off, taking off, and he's 30, 40 yards rushing at times as well. So we got to be aware of that in the pocket, that he's able to, you know, go out there and scramble as well. But, yeah, Geno's a smart quarterback, man. He's seen it all. He's seen all defenses, and he knows how to get his playmakers the ball. So I know DK was a little flustered a little bit last week with not getting the ball as much, but I'm sure that relationship, they'll probably try to get him going a little bit more this week.
And are there any adjustments that the defense is making in response to the Seahawks playing style, specifically their rushing attack?
Yeah, I think there's a couple keys that we can key in on. Like I said, they got 2 really good backs with 24 and then number 9, and then you got Geno, who, like I said, he can. They've been playing off schedule a little bit, but he's more than capable of making those adjustments and making the right decisions in the pass game as well. So, yeah, we got our hands full, and it's going to be up to us to stop it.
You mentioned being locker mates with Penix. I'm just curious what you've seen from him. How is he like attacking this role he's in and just like soaking everything up and learning? Yeah,
it's conversations every week me and Mike have, just talking about what the defense is doing, what he's seeing on film, and kind of what his process is right now. You know, week in and week out, he's, you know, meeting with Kirk. He's preparing like a starter would, and it's just cool to see because it's a weird situation for him, I'm sure, but it's a huge learning opportunity for him to sit back and see how this whole thing goes instead of just getting thrown out there in the fire. So he's super, super positive minded. If you know Mike, he's just a cool dude, just really don't say too much, but just going against him in scout team, that's going to make our defense, we're going against a real deal quarterback, and he's going against a real deal defense as well. So it helps out both ways, and I know he'll be ready when his time comes.
Does he ask you a lot of questions when you guys are just sitting there?
Yeah, sometimes he just asks, what's our philosophy this week on third down, red zone. He's always asking what am I seeing from a safety perspective. Like I said, Mike is unbelievably just super calm and quiet, but you get to talking to him a little bit more. It's pretty cool to see. Excited for his career.
Oh yeah, just y'all had a lot of streaks in Cincinnati. It's a chance to win 4 in a row. How does a team look at streaks? I know you got one game at a time and stuff, but an opportunity to continue your winning streak here.
Yeah, every week I always say our goal is to go 1-0. It doesn't really matter what you did last week or the weeks before. The mindset is to go 1-0, and yeah, when you start getting that ball rolling a little bit, you start going on win streaks. It definitely helps with the confidence of each other, knowing that Kirk can go out there and execute, knowing that our defense can go out there and execute, knowing our special teams is good enough to go make block punts and stuff like that. That stuff is encouraging, and it helps. Honestly, as human beings, we start that belief capacity just continues to grow, and I'm excited what our team is doing right now.
What have you noticed about Clark Phillips' development as a young player in the league? His specific qualities and skills that impress you about him.
Yeah, Clark is in a very similar situation as Mike Penix, where he's getting his feet wet a little bit. Last year he got his feet wet, and he's behind two guys that are really good and have a lot of experience as far as with Mike and AJ. And Clark's just biting at the apple. He's ready for his opportunity. Anytime his number's called, where he may not be the starter right now, but he's going on there. He's making some huge plays for us. He's tackling well. He's understanding the scheme and the defense of what we want to do. So I'm just really impressed with Clark as well. It just comes. That's what our room is. It don't matter who it is. No matter if you're a starter, whether you're not. When your number's called, you got to be ready. So it's good to see in our secondary.
Yeah, but I had a great relationship with Coach Grubb. That's my guy. Still to this day, as much as I love him, I'm on the Falcons. He's on the Seahawks. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to help us win. But
is it awkward at all, or is this just part of football for you to be sort of trying to break him down for your guys now?
Yeah, I won't say it's awkward. At the end of the day, whatever happened in this game, I know we both have the same love towards each other. He knows it's part of the game. It's part of the game. But as far as what I can help provide, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't seen what he's done this year. Obviously he could be doing a totally different thing. I wouldn't expect him to switch up everything. But like I said, I haven't really watched their offense to see what they have been doing to see if I know some of that stuff.
On a different subject, I'm wondering, do you get voice memos from Kirk? Are you on the voice memo list? He apparently sends voice memos to Zac Robinson and the receivers and all.
I'm not on that list.
Have you been in his presence when he's recording any?
No.
News to you.
Yeah, you just told me.
What's the learning process been for you now? We're like a third of the way through your first season. How much have you learned, and what do you think is changed in your game so far?
The biggest thing, just seeing how he comes out each and every day, and then, the way he controls the offense, and, the way he, call the plays, from calling the plays to the cadences, adding up to different motions and stuff that we have, to help him play faster, just picking up on some of those things, obviously in the meeting room, just having different things that, he asks, just the questions that he has. As far as the play calls we got in that week, and just picking up on his side and what he sees on the field, because whenever my chance comes, I got to be ready. So
has there been one thing that he's done or you've seen him do that you've been okay, now I understand that part of whatever that is?
Like I said, man, it's everything. It's so many small things, I can't really just point at one, but just his command of the offense, the way that he can bring the guys together, have them ready to play. Coming to this past week, he had a hype up thing. He had a hype up thing at the beginning of the game, get the guys going, because we were going into an environment where, a lot of people called it a trap game, you know, in a way, you know, just making sure that all the guys are ready to play. He got us all ready, got us all hyped up, and just seeing little stuff like that, the way that he take leadership, it definitely goes a long way.
He wasn't swag surfing, was he?
No, he wasn't swag surfing in the locker room.
How would you?
What was that hype out thing? Yeah, like was it music you played or like?
Nah, it was. He had like a saying. I can't tell you the exact word for word, but he was just like repeat after me, and you know he just went through a whole saying. I don't know where he got it from, but it's pretty cool.
Do you see a little more of that in a week like this, where you guys got another divisional game the following week, and you know another non-conference, non-divisional team coming in this weekend? In terms of Kirk just kind of rallying the team in the same way like that?
Oh, I mean that's him every day. You know he does it in his own way. You know if it's just make sure the tempo is right at practice. If things aren't going good, the way that he goes out and make the next play, and then try to get everybody on their feet about it. But he does it in small ways each and every day. So I don't think like it's different. But I feel like before the Carolina game, it was needed.
I think you probably asked about it, and I just missed it about Grubb. But I'm just curious, like watching him now in the NFL, do you see any similarities at all, or is it totally different?
Yeah, I was saying I haven't really been watching the offense like that. I've probably seen like one game, but I've seen some of the same plays. But it's always so many different nuances. Like he did so many different shifts, motions. It's hard to keep up unless you're right there in the room. So it's like some of the things, like the philosophy, like some of the things he liked to do. Like I know that, but obviously I don't know if it's more or different. Yeah. So it's like, all right.
Did you guys have a good relationship? Like do you guys text? But this week it's like, no, I'm not texting you.
Yeah, we text every now and then. It's not like this week I can't text them. Yeah. I might ask them what they running or something. But nah, man, we good, man. We got a great relationship. After the game, we still be good. So
I thought it was funny. Raheem said like during the season he like really doesn't watch that much college football because he has to watch so much film leading up to the draft. Now that you're in the NFL, do you still watch college football, or are you kind of more focused on the NFL?
I watch it. I only watch UW.
Okay.
I only watch UW.
That makes sense.
Have you kept tabs on some of the other rookie and young quarterbacks that are playing around the league?
Kept tabs. I just watch the football.
Yeah.
It's not like I watch whoever on. So a lot of them doing good. They're doing good.
Like you mentioned cadence, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people think about when it comes to like important things that the quarterbacks do. What have you kind of learned about that? Because especially it's something Raheem has talked a lot about that Kirk has done really well.
I'm just saying, just use it as a weapon. You got to use it as a weapon for your advantage. Seeing what the defense do based on pressures, different coverages that they might show based on the coverage. And sometimes teams know that we like the motion. Tying in our motions with our cadence to maybe see rotation or see a nickel blitz or see a corner blitz or see anything like that. Just trying to get any tail on the defense we can. So
the ground game really was going last week at the Panthers. What do you think needs to keep? What do you need to keep doing this week to keep that going against Seattle?
Yeah, just continue to just keep that mindset of like physicality. We got to be more physical than everything that we play, and we got to start that obviously in practice. But for us, like with the O-line that we have, and just how much they take pride in being dominant and being more dominant than the defensive line that's on the other side, but then even just the front seven that's on the other side, like we really take pride in that. And for me, for Ty, for all of us, for the tight ends, for Charlie, like in the meeting today, we were like, this is like the run game is what starts this whole offense and opens up everything for the pass, play action, everything. So like we are the foundation, and we need to start fast with the run game so we can obviously have the same result as last week.
What's so valuable about what Charlie Woerner does for this offense?
Man, Charlie, like, obviously, like I've seen him play at San Francisco, and I was like he's a dog. Like I always say that Charlie's a dog at San Francisco. But then when we got him here, we immediately like talked, and he was like, "Yo, B, like, I'm gonna set this run game up for you." Like, and I was like, man, I'm just excited that you're here. And like what he did, like obviously what he's been doing throughout the season, but what he did last week, it was like something special because he was finishing blocks, he was killing six technique, like he was doing everything that you would expect like a tight end, a great tight end to do. But with Charlie on the offense and his extension of the O-line and of the tight ends, like he's that dude's a monster.
Multiple blocks on one play to create those lanes for Tyler and you to run through.
Yep.
I mean, how much does that open up those gaps and help?
It helps tremendously, and he knows it too because we'll go to the sideline or even just on the field, like, I'm like, yo, Charlie, like, that was amazing, bro. Like thank you. And he just always appreciated it. He's like, and he's just so low-key about it. He's like, bro, I got you, like, every single time. So, yeah, having Charlie here and on the offense is obviously huge. I think he's the best blocking tight end in the NFL. And, I mean, we all know that. But just how he goes about his business and, like, how he's just so humble about it. And you would never think that he's, like, this killer on the field, off the field. But, yeah, he's a dog. And, obviously, I can't wait to just keep on playing with him.
It's funny you call him a dog because he is a Georgia Bulldog. Talk about this week with the Texas-Georgia matchup.
Yeah.
What's the locker room like? Obviously you won't be there, but were you watching it, that type of thing?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be watching it. I'm actually playing Charlie tomorrow on NCAA. Like, we're going to have, like, a little matchup. But, no, I'm super excited for that game. Obviously, like, those are two of the best teams in college football. But, yeah, I think you know, I don't know if Georgia will ever played in an environment like Texas. Obviously, they played in amazing environments, but, like, Texas is different. It's different, and I think we're going to pull it off real nicely.
Haven't done the horns down to you yet?
Not yet. No. I haven't really been getting, like, too much, like, trash talk because I think they know that we're gonna win. I think y'all know that too. I was
going to say, are there any, like, bets going on or, like, you have to wear this jersey?
Yeah.
So what is it? Like,
I gotta wear a couple shirts. I gotta wear a couple jerseys. I gotta do push-ups. I gotta maybe make food. So, like, there's a lot of Georgia fans over here and a lot of Georgia players. So, like, we'll see what happens.
Can you describe the environment? Because it was funny. Kirby said the same. Like, he's never been there. He's been there as a coach, but, like, not with his team. Why is that environment different? Because the SEC is pretty.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I just think that every time we play like a gigantic game like this, and you have like 102 or 3,000 people in the stands, there might be 110,000 people for this game, honestly. But when you have it like that, and this is a night game, right?
Yep.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be. I don't think Georgia will be able to hear a word come out, but we'll see. We'll see.
Bijan, obviously the NFL is a copycat league, but you guys are able to implement some pretty creative things in the run game right now. How much do you enjoy just the challenge of what Zac Robinson and everyone else is trying to make you guys do this year?
Yeah, I mean, I embrace it a lot. You know, I think it's really good that, you know, Zac is just such a creative, and he's always looking for new things. He's always looking to do new things. He's always looking to, you know, create situations not just for me, but for everybody on the offense. And I really appreciate him for, like, asking questions to us, like, do you like this, or, like, do you think we should do it? And obviously, like, if it's not good enough in practice, we're not going to run in the game, and that's why I appreciate him a lot. But, you know, with Zac, you know, he's always, like, learning, and I think he's growing tremendously. Obviously, we see what he's doing, but yeah, I think as we keep going throughout the season, like, you're gonna keep seeing, like, new stuff, like different stuff, and it's just gonna elevate our game to the highest level.
It's been a lot of fun making the transition to play with the Falcons. The team, everyone gets such great effort. You know, we're all just trusting each other and continuing to mesh under what Zac's calling for us.
How good was last Sunday's game to really get the run game going specifically?
It was a lot of fun. We were getting after it out there. I don't know how many rushing yards we had, but I know me and with the O-line, it was a lot of fun to get it going.
You're not a guy that's going to pop up on the stat sheet very often so far this year, but what you were able to do in the run game, the pass game, all the blocking that you've been able to do specifically against Carolina, Bijan said on the sideline, he'll come over and say, thank you, appreciate that, thanks for opening that hole. How exciting is it for you to be able to contribute in that way?
Yeah, no, I love I mean, that's, like you said, I've never really been a stat sheet guy, so I've always trying to contribute any way I can. And when they call my number on the front side of a run play or whatever it is, I go out there and do my best. And especially when it's executed right and we're all on our assignments, and I look over and see Tyler Bijan hitting it for a nice run. There's not much that feels better to me seeing my teammates succeed at like that.
You called yourself a high effort guy. That's exactly what you are. Where does that come from, and kind of when did that start for you?
It comes from being the sixth kid out of 7, getting beat up all the time, having a fight growing up with all my siblings, and just what's been instilled in me from my parents, my siblings, and just my football career going to Georgia, and just it's been a part of who I am for a long time.
Tell me a little bit more about that family dynamic. So I'm assuming there's girls, there's boys.
Girls, boys. I'm number 6. I have a little sister and then 3 older brothers and 2 older sisters, and the older brothers and my sister who's above me, they made me. I had to get after it growing up. Got beat up most of the time, but the tide started to turn around middle school a little bit for me. But at that point, we all quit the fighting anyways. But it was, I always give a lot of credit to my siblings.
It seems like there's a lot of creativity to this run game right now, and there's a lot of things being implemented that are different than a lot of people are saying. How great is it to be a part of something like that, and how much do you just emphasize the challenge of making things different each and every game?
Yeah. With creativity is huge in this league. Trying to present the same play in a different way to confuse the defense, to slow down the linebackers, or make the coordinator think something else is coming. But yeah, every week we're trying to do something. We're trying to do the same different, and it's fun to be a part of, and it's fun to succeed for sure.
Okay, you and Bijan are playing each other tomorrow. Is that correct?
I think we might be playing some video game. I haven't played video games in quite some time. I think Bijan does, so I'm probably going to get smoked. But I'm going to try my best.
So aside from the video game, obviously this is a big one this weekend for Georgia, Texas.
Yep.
Any trash talking going on, or you're just confident in the dogs?
I got to ride with the dogs, man. Kirby Smart having probably since Saban retired, most national championships under his belt than any other active coach. So I gotta trust him and what he's going to bring with the team. So yeah.
Do you have any personal goals for this season?
My personal goals are usually always team-driven, to be honest with you. I feel like for 8 and 9 years now, I've never really been a big stat guy on the stats board, so I've just slowly transitioned to I just want to win games, make the playoffs, and obviously win the biggest games in the year, and that's making the Super Bowl, NFC Championship, whatever it is. So to me, it's always a team goal for me, and just win the South, like Raheem's been saying since day one here, and see what you can do in the playoffs.
Charlie, speaking of creativity, you were a part of the 49ers. Everybody knows that they are very creative on offense. What's different about this team and the way that you guys are running the offense right now?
We do some different personnel packages probably than the 49ers. We don't do as much. We don't have fullback. We don't do any 21 personnel, not as much 12. And so Zac's very creative with the receivers in the run game, and just trying to use the 11 personnel a lot differently than what I'm used to.
How would you assess Drake London's blocking techniques?
He gets after it, man. Drake gets after it. Drake's the dog in the run game, and I think it's easy. You can look at the run game on an offense, and it's easy to get your O-line and tight ends going. To me, what gets the run game truly going and big explosive plays is your receivers. And so when the receivers are getting after it, that's when you're going to see really, really, really big run plays.
Raheem complimented how you practice. What goes into your work ethic out there, and how do you stay locked in day out?
Like I've been saying, it's just who I am. I feel like I've been just ingrained since 5 years old. It's just always giving my best. I've always had to. It's just not that it comes easy, because definitely there's days you're tired or your body's hurting, whatever. But I always go out there and give my best and try to really enjoy doing it.
All right, Mike, you have had a really good year so far, and I know that you've had kind of a long road to get to this point. 6 games that you've started now ties a career most for you, which is crazy. How much do you pride yourself on just the season that you've had to this point?
Well, first of all, I know what I'm capable of and what I know I can do on the field. So for me, it's just about stacking and getting better each week, taking every game in stride, and just taking this whole process day by day. And I think we're all still trying to buy into this whole scheme, and I think we're doing a good job of it. And as we continue to do that, I think we'll continue to be a lot more efficient and a lot more dangerous on defense.
So one of the things that a lot of people keep harping on is there's a very strong lack of pass rush, but you guys have been able to limit explosive plays. That's thanks in large part to what you guys are doing back there. How have you guys been able to do that so far?
Yeah, I think we're still trying to put a complete game together as a defense, and I think we're all trying to we're all gelling together pretty well as we learn each other and each other's strengths. And I think once coaches put us all in the right positions to be successful, I think we'll be really dangerous. And it's crazy to say, and I know it might sound cliche, but I really truly believe once we get everything clicking, we'll be really dangerous.
Okay, and then last question. You've said in the past that you feel like a lot of people have overlooked you, even though you're a first-round draft pick. It's just some of those things that have happened throughout your career. Why do you feel that way?
Well, first of all, I've dealt with a few injuries and some injuries that a lot of guys don't come back from. So, I can see why people may count me out. And it just adds a fire in my heart and Shout out to Richie Grant, my UCF teammate. But yeah, it kind of lights that fire in me that I know I still have a lot left. And like I said, I know what I'm capable of once I get out there on the field, once I'm comfortable, and what I can do to help this team.